the decision variables. So in that case, we will have to use the simplex method. Okay. So now in this simplex method, there are some terms which you need to again study. Those terms or the definitions are slack variable and surplus variable. Now, what do you mean by slack variable and what do you mean by surplus variable? So that you need to, one should understand under the LPP, that is
Ma'am, are you sharing the
local.
screen, ma'am?
ಇನ್ನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ನು ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ.
Sir, okay.
Okay, so when it comes to the variables, then you have these variables to be studied. So what are these variables? One is the surplus variable, the other one is the slack variable. Now, what are these surplus and slack variables? Is again, if you see the models of the OR, we have some models of the OR, and under that heading we have studied the symbolic model. So again, here also, based on the symbol, we'll have to see, or we'll have to understand whether it is the problem is of surplus variable or it consists of the slack variable. So what is the surplus variable? Is a variable subtracted from the left hand side of the constraint if you have greater than or equal to symbol, and is converted to equalities. Again, these variables we use to convert the inequalities to equalities. For example, if you have, say, this format, or the constraint is given in this, say, three x1 plus 4x2 is greater than or equal to 10. Okay, if this is the case, then if you want to convert these whatever inequalities to equalities, in that case what you need to do here is you need to subtract one variable, okay, because to balance the right hand side. So 3x1 plus 4x2, you have greater than or equal to symbol, so you need to subtract one surplus variable and convert this to equality. So what is the surplus variable? A variable which subtracted from the left hand side of the constraint if you have the greater than or equal to symbol to convert into the equalities. Okay, so what we can write here is a variable subtracted from LHS of the constraint if you have greater than or equal to symbol and converted to equality. So again, if you have this symbol, then you need to consider the surplus variable. What is the surplus variable? It is this subtracted variable from the LHS to balance the RHS or to convert the inequality to equality form. Okay, so this is the surplus variable. There is one more, that is the slack variable. So again, if I take the same example or say some different example, that is if you have say 2x1 plus 3x2 less than or equal to 8. Now for this symbol and to convert inequalities to equalities, what you need to do here is you need to add one slack variable to convert from inequalities to equalities. That is a variable is added to LHS of the constraint. to convert inequalities to equalities. So this is, you can say, the basic study what you need to have before solving or before going for any of the procedural part in the simplex method. So not in the simplex method, in overall LPP. So what is slack variable? It is added. If you have the less than or equal to symbol, then we have to consider the slack variable. The slack variable is nothing but where we add the variable. So that is the slack variable. Surplus is when we subtract the variable to balance the equation. So this is about the surplus variable and the slack variable. Then if you see other terms like basic solution and the feasible solution and optimal solution, then for this again, if you solve for the second part, then we always talk about the optimal solution. So any basic feasible solution which optimizes, or say which minimizes, or which maximizes the objective function of any problem is known as the optimal solution, based on what is the objective solution and how you take it to the next part, that is the optimization, is nothing but the optimal solution. And basic feasible solution is nothing but which satisfies, say, if x is greater than 0, that is the decision variable is greater than 0, then we always take that as the basic feasible solution. That indicates the decision variables cannot be negative. That is what we always take the prime condition in the solving the LPPs. That is in the last equation, once we write the constraint, we always end up writing the formulation, whatever the decision variable you have, say x1, x2, x3, which are greater than or equal to 0, which indicates the decision variables cannot be negative. So that also we need to keep in mind. Okay, so coming to the computational procedure or the working procedure of the simplex method. Now coming to the simplex method here, before going for the problem, simplex method is the general form of the LPP solution part, what we always take, and it is widely used. Mainly we say that the linear problems are solved using the simplex method. Okay, what is the procedure here is, in the step 1, you need to check if the given objective is maximized or minimized. Okay, so I'm not going to give the steps in detail. We are interested in this table. Okay, once you understand this table, then everything is understood. Okay, so again, if you see the formulation, you will be having z equation, maybe based on the maximization or minimization. Again, this z is subjected to some constraint, 1 2 3 4 constraint. Here I have taken the 2 decision variables initially. Then in the coming class, that is maybe tomorrow or something like that, we will see the 3 variables like that. Okay, and you know how it ends, that is the formulation ends with the positive values, that is the positive decision variables. Okay, so here CBI is nothing but the coefficient of basic variable. What is CJ is this CJ and BV. If you see, these are related to the Z equation, that is your objective function. And if you see this table, these are nothing but the coefficient of the constraints what you have. Mainly we always take these as A11, A12, A13, etc. like this. If you have second constraint, then you have 21, 22, 23, third 31, 32, 33 like this. Then you have the basic variables. Now these basic variables are nothing but for objective function, okay, how many slack variable or the surplus variable you have considered, and what is the coefficient in the objective function. Okay, so CBI is always the coefficient of the objective function related to the adopted variable, whether it is slack variable or the surplus variable. So that indicates, so if you have some S1, S2, S3 here, that is, you have say added some three slack variables, what will be initially, what will be the coefficient of these S1, S2, S3? Initially it will be always 0. Then comes the solution part. This is nothing but the right hand side, which is say B1, B2, B3, that is equal to, is always B1, B2, B3, right? So if you want, I'll just write here Z is always, we take it as C1x1, C2x2, okay, which is
Now, can you
subjected
explain
to
this coefficient of objective function again? CBI. Okay.
one nimisha. I will take that general form and I'll explain the tabulation. So if you have say Z which is in this form, that is C1x1 plus C2x2, then this is subjected to the constraint like A11 x1 plus A12 x2 plus A13 x3, say so on, which is equal to B1, 21 x1, 22 x2 plus 23 x3, which is equal to B2, 31 x2 plus 33 x3 plus so on, which is equal to B3. So this right hand side is always the solution part. Okay, and these coefficients of x1, x2, x3, whatever it is, those will be this coefficient which is related to the constraint also, that is the constraint part also, and these are related to the objective function coefficients also. Here we write it as C1, C2, and the coefficient of S1 if you take, we need to balance, so we always take it as 0 S1, 0 S2, so like this. Okay, and if you see CBI, so this CBI is related to only the objective function. So if you see the objective function, we have taken some three slack variables, namely S1, S2, S3, maybe two, S1 and S2. What is the coefficient of those S1 and S2? We need to balance the Z equation with respect to, again, this 0 S1 and 0 S2. So if you take the Z equation, say C1 x1 plus C2 x2, now say for example you have considered two slack variables, that is S1 plus S2. You need to always take this in the objective function also, as well as you'll have to always take it to the uh, constrained part, but also you need to show them in the objective function in such a way that you have balanced that objective function. So objective function cannot be changed, right? So here what we do is we balance this equation by considering 0 as the coefficient of S1 and S2. If we again simplify this, we end up getting C1x1 plus C2x2. Is it not? But we'll have to show in the objective function that we have considered the slack or the surplus variables in the objective function also. So that is what we have to show here. So S1 and S2 are the basic variables if you consider the objective function. And what is the coefficient of basic variable? It is 0 and 0. So this is coefficient of basic variable. Now what are the basic variables? We have considered some slack variables. So these are the basic slack variables S1 and S2. What is Cj? Cj is nothing but coefficient of the z equation, that is objective function, namely C1, C2, 0 and 0 for S1 and S2. So these are the variables, basic variables with respect to constraint part also if you take downwards, and if you see the arrow upwards, it is for the objective function. Now coming to the constraint part, these are nothing but the array, that is A11, A22, A11, A12, 13, 21, 22, 23, 31, 32, 33. These are nothing but the coefficients of these x1 and x2 in the constrained part. So whatever we see here till here is nothing but the constrained equation. Okay, and coming to the ratio, this we will see, sorry, this we will see once we start with the problem, because it is difficult to make you understand or convey you what is this ratio. Okay, what we do here with this ratio. Okay, then after that you need to see what will be Zj and what is Cj minus Zj. Okay, there is a calculation part for Zj, that is Zj is equal to summation of I is equal to 1 to n CBI, that is coefficient of basic variable, into Aij, that is this. Okay, so how we take this? 0 into A11 plus 0 into A21 plus 0 into A31, which is equal to 0, right? So here you have 0. Then if you see 0 into 1, 2, 0 into 2, 2, 0 into 3, 2, 3, 2, again you get 0. 0 into 1, 3, 0 into 2, 3, 0 into 3, 3, get 0. So where you get Zj is equal to all zeros. So in the solution also 0 into B1, 0 into B2, 0 into B3, you get 0. So this what we call it as is nothing but the initial simplex table. That is the table what you prepare, and when you try to find out what will be the Zj and Cj minus Zj, then this table, initial table, what we call it as is the initial simplex table. Now what this table gives us? Once you calculate Cj minus Zj, that is Cj is C1 minus 0 is C1, C2 minus 0 is C2, 0 minus 0 is 0, again 0 minus 0 will be 0. Now this you need to see. This is the checkpoint. If you have Cj minus Zj less than or equal to 0, and if the problem is maximization problem, your objective function is maximization problem, and if the Cj minus Zj is lesser than equal to 0, then we say that we have got the optimal solution. If not, then you need to go to the next iteration. We say that once we find the initial simplex table, then you need to check whether Cj minus Zj is lesser than or equal to 0 if it is a maximization problem. If we are getting all our 0 and negative values, then we say it is the optimal solution. If not, then you need to go for first iteration. Again check. If you are getting all zeros and negatives, stop there. If not, then go for the second iteration. Then check. Similarly, you need to repeat these iterations till you get this form for the maximization. And for the minimization, it is Cj minus Zj greater than or equal to 0. That is 0 or positive values. for the minimization. Then it is, we say that it is the optimal solution. If not, then go for the first iteration, then check. If not, go for the second one also. Okay, so this is how you need to carry out the minimization or the maximization problem under the simplex method. We will take up one problem so that you can understand easily. Okay, so the problem is like this. Maximize, it is the maximization problem. Solve the following LPP using simplex method. Solve the following LPP using simplex method. So it is the maximization problem. Maximize z is equal to 12x1 plus 16x2 subjected to 10x1 plus 20x2 less than or equal to 120, 8x1 plus 8x2 less than or equal to 80, x1, x2 greater than or equal to 0. Now if you see first and second constraint, both are having less than or equal to less than or equal to. So the question is, they've already mentioned you need to solve it by simplex method, but still, if not, okay, we will discuss that part in the next, when we take up the big M, when we take the difference between two methods. Now we will not discuss that part. Now tell me, by seeing the symbolic model, that is by seeing the symbol, whether we need to use the slack variables or the surplus variables.
Surplus.
Slack, ma'am.
Slack.
Slack
Slack.
variables. Okay. Okay. So to use the slack variable, what we need to use here is S1, namely S1 and S2 for two different constrained equations, and we need to balance those S1 and S2 in the Z equation. So that is the first step. So here we will discuss the first step, then again you need to reconnect because it will, I think after 3 minutes it will again ask you to reconnect, right? So for first thing, what you need to do here is, okay, here only I'll write. The solution part is Z is equal to 12x1 plus 16x2. I'll stop here. I'll take this second, that is part of the formulation, that is the constraint. So this Z is subjected to 10x1 plus 20x2 less than or equal to, you need to convert the inequalities to equalities by adding one slack variable which is equal to 120. First, then you have 8x1 plus 8x2 plus s2 which is equal to 80. So this is 2. Now the same, whatever you have considered s1 and s2, that should be balanced to the objective function equation. So for here you need to add s1 plus s2 but with 0 coefficient to balance the objective function. Okay, so this is how you need to first write the inequalities to equalities. That is, the first step is to convert the lesser than or equal to or greater than or equal to symbols to considering the slack or the surplus variables. Now we have considered the slack variables here. So you have two constraints. You have you will have to have two slack variables, namely s1 and s2. So here s1 and s2 are nothing but the slack variables.
Ma'am,
Okay.
so initially itself in the objective function, we can directly write 0s1 and 0s2,
Yes,
right?
yes, you can write. It is to make you understand. First, I have taken the slack variables in the constraint, then I have balanced in the z equation. Okay, so it is, you can directly take the z equation based on how many constraints you have. If you have the third constraint, then you need to end up writing 0s3 in the z equation. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Now coming to the first table, which we call this as the initial table or initial simplex table. 1 minute is there. Okay, let me explain only the objective function here. So if you see the objective function equation, Cj and basic variable are nothing but whatever you see in the z equation, that should be whatever the coefficient in the z equation should be written here in the Cj part. That is, you have two decision variables, namely x1 and x2. Now you have considered two slack variables, s1 and s2. Okay, so what you need to write here for the objective function is, what is the coefficient of x1?
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ವೇರಿಯಂಟ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ಇದು ಯಾವ್ದೋ B133.37 ಒಂದು ವೇರಿಯಂಟ್ ವರ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ.
ವರ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ನಿಜ. ಇದೇನೋ ಟೈಮ್ ಯಾಕೋ ಸರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ರದು, ಏನಿದೆ ಏನೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವರು ನಮ್ ಹವಲ್ದಾರ್ ಆಫೀಸ್ ಅಕೌಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ,
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಯಾರು ಮ್ಯಾಮ್?
ಆಫೀಸಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ರು ಅಕೌಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಸುರೇಶ್ ಹವಾಲ್ದಾರ್ ಅಂತ ಕೂರ್ತಿದ್ರು ನೋಡು, ಆಶಾ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಪಕ್ಕ.
ಎಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ಎಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಅವರು
ಸುರೇಶ್,
ಈಸ್ ನೋ ಮೋರ್. ಒಂದು 4 days ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ತೀರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು ಅವರು, ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಇಂದಾನೆ.
ಓ ಓಕೆ.
ನೀವು ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಥವಾ ಊರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಏನು ಅವ್ರು ಇಲ್ಲಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಧಾರವಾಡ. ಹೌದೌದು, ಊರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರಂತವ್ರು.
ನೀವು ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಥವಾ ಊರಲ್ಲಿ?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದೀನಪ್ಪ.
ನನ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋರೊಬ್ರು ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೇ ಡೋರ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಗೆ ವ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿನೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಹಾಕ್ಸಿರೋರು ನನ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋರೊಬ್ರು ಇದ್ರು. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರ ನಂಬರ್ ಇದೆ, ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು.
ಕಳ್ಸ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಇವತ್ತು ಇದು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತಾನೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನೇ ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರು ಕಳ್ಸಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ.
ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್?
ವಾಟ್ಸಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಾನು ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂತೀನಿ ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ. ಆಯ್ತಾ? Okay, thank you so much. Coming to the simplex method, we will finish off this problem. ಬಹುಶಃ ಒಂದೇ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದ. I think we can continue. Okay, thank you ಶರತ್. Thank you ನಿತೀಶ್. ಕೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನೇ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ನಾಳೆ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ವಿ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ರೀಚ್ ಟು ದಿ ಬಿಗ್ ಎಮ್. ಹಿಂಗಾದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ ಕನ್ವಿನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಲಿಂಕ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೋ ಏನೋ, ನಾನು ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸರ್ತಿ ನೀವು ರೀಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸಿ. ಈಗ the objective of the problem is to see the optimization. We always see the optimization based on the objective function what we have. In this case, the objective function is to maximize. So when it comes to maximization problem, then always the picture what you can see finally is Cj minus Zj should be less than or equal to 0 for the maximization. So this is your objective of the solution. Okay, so we need to see now. In the initial stage we will get, then we need to stop that. If not, then we need to go to the next table, that is for the first iteration. So for now, for the initial simplex table heng baribeku annad nodana. Coming to the objective function of the problem, that is z equation. So Cj is nothing but coefficient of objective function. Okay, so what are the basic variable for the objective function? X1, X2, S1, S2. These are the basic variable for the constrained part also. Okay, so now to fill this row, the coefficient of X1 in the z equation is 12. The coefficient of X2 in z equation is 16. Coefficient of S1 in z equation is 0, 0. Is that fine?
Yes ma'am.
Now coming to the
Yes,
basic variable and the coefficient of the basic variable. Now, the basic variable what we have considered here is one is S1, the other one is S2. So that has to be written here, S1 and S2. Coming to again the coefficient of S1 and S2, 0 and 0, if you see the Z equation. So if you see this and this, that is in this outer values what we write is all belongs to the Z equation. These outer values are the coefficient of all Z equation. Coming to the inside, what we write is all the constraint part. Okay, so let me take the other color here. So the first constraint, coefficient of x1 is 10, x2 is 20, s1 is 1, s2 we don't have 0. And what is the solution? 120. For the second constraint, 8, s1 we don't have, s2 we have 1, solution is 80. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Now coming to the calculation part, the first set of calculation is this, ZG. Okay, so first what you need to calculate is calculate ZJ. Now how to calculate this ZJ? We know that ZJ equation is summation I is equal to 1 to n CBI into AIJ. Okay, so that is 0 into 10 plus 0 into 8. So 0 into 10 plus 0 into 8. So 0 right here. Similarly, 0 into 20, 0 into 8. So this is Z1. For Z2, 0 into 20 plus 0 into 8 is again 0. For Z3, 0 into 1 plus 0 into 0 is 0. For Z4, 0 into 0 plus 0 into 1 is 0. And for Z solution, ZS, 0 into 120 plus 0 into 80 is 0. Is that okay? This is the first calculation. Okay. Now coming to the second calculation, Cj minus Zj. So Cj are these, Zj are these. 12 minus 0 is 12. 16 minus 0 is 16. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. Now you need to see the solution part. So what is the solution part? What is the solution part?
Ma'am, whether this is the Cj minus Zj is less than or equal to 0, we should optimize it to be less than or equal to 0.
Now you need to check the optimal part of that, optimal solution of whatever the table we have got. Now in the Cj minus Zj, you have 12, 16, 0 and 0. Now these, if you see it, you cannot say it is the optimal solution because you are getting all positive and the 0. 2 are the zeros, okay, but other two values are positive. As this is the maximization problem, we have to get all negatives and zeros. It should be negative or it should be all zeros, okay, or combination of both of them. But we are not getting any negative values, we are getting the positive values. So now for this, what you need to do, you need to continue the process again by picking the key column and key row as well as key value. Now, what are these key column, key row, and key value? How to understand or how to mark them or how to identify them is, out of these Cj minus Zj values, you need to pick the maximum value. So what is the maximum value here? 16 is the
16.
maximum. So in the 16, okay, in the 16, you need to see the respective, whatever the 16 value is the maximum, corresponding column you need to mark. So for 16, x2 is the corresponding column. So this is the key column, what we call it as. And once you get the key column, next is to find what will be the key row. Now to get the key row, this ratio comes into picture. That is, whatever the key column you have marked using the key column, you need to see what will be the ratio. So that is solution divided by the key column value. So key column value for this particular solution will be 20. Solution divided by key column value, this is 8. So here it is 6 and here it is how much? 10. Out of these two, which is the minimum value? 6 is the minimum value. So here you need to pick the maximum, and out of the ratio you need to take the minimum. Now mark this as the key row. And whatever the intersection of key column and key row, you can see that value is key value.
Ma'am, we're doing maximization problem, ma'am.
Yes.
Then why you should take the minimum value of the ratio, ma'am?
See, in the ratio, what we do here is the right hand side, if you see, that is the B1 part, okay, that will be divided from the key column value, which is the partial procedural part of the optimization. The overall procedure, if you see, that is the getting key value and key rows, row as well as key column, right? So when we say the partial, to balance again, you need to pick the minimum ratio out of the ratio values. It is not that it is the maximum maximization problem, so that you need to take the maximum ratio. Is that okay? The maximum value you need to take it from the Cj minus Zj, that is the positive integer of the Cj minus Zj, what you have, that is the maximum positive integer. But in the minimum ratio, that is to balance again this entire table with respect to column and key column and the key row, you need to pick the minimum value here. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ?
Yes, ma'am.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್,
Okay.
ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ಅದೇ ರೋ ತಗೊಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿಲ್ಲ.
ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ, see, in the Cj minus Zj, it is understood that you need to pick the maximum value because it is the maximization problem. The maximum integer, what you have, the positive integer, you need to pick that. It is based on the objective function. But in the ratio part, what happens here is, in the ratio, we are using the partial solution part. That is, partial solution part here indicates the column. We have only indicated the column, key column. Using that key column, you are finding what are the ratios. Okay, so that is solution divided by this key column value for that particular row. Solution divided by this key column value, that is 8. Out of these two ratios, you need to balance the entire again the initial table by picking the minimum ratio. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? Then you can find what is the row. It is the ratio is useful only to mark the row, that is the key row, and to get the key value. ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Understood? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? If
Yes,
not,
ma'am.
then one thing you need to understand that from the column we pick the maximum and we mark the column. For the key row, it is for the minimum value. Okay, right? Once you understand this, then the next part is little complex. What you need to do is you need to again prepare the next table, which is called as the first iteration table, where there is the changes. What you can see, that change is nothing but in the place of S1, we say that S1 is leaving and X2 is entering, like this. It is leaving and this is entering in the next part. So how we can do that is, in the next iteration,
Ma'am, hello.
ಇದೀನಿ
Okay.
ಹ್ಯಾಂಗ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಎರಡು ನಿಮಿಷ. Yes, coming to the next table here, what I told you, that x1, x2 will be entering and s1 variable will be leaving the table. So what will be the modified table here is, for Cj, again there is no change, right, as it is 6, 12, 16, 0 and 0. And for basic variable here, entering variable is x2. This is as it is, s1, sorry. This is S2.
H2.
Yes, this is S2. Okay, now coming to the coefficient of X2 is 16 in the Z equation. S2 is 0. Coming to this part of the constraint, you cannot copy it from the previous table. But what you need to do here is, for S2, okay, for S2, there will be all new values, and for X2, you need to make a modification again by referring the previous table. Now, how we can do that is, if you see here, where is the key value? You can see
20,
key
ma'am.
value is
S1, X2.
this row. Yes, where you have X2, that is, this is left, and in this place, X2 is coming. So that particular row, you need to divide all these values from key value. That is 10 divided by 20, 20 divided by 20, 1 by 20, 0 by 20, 120 by 20. So this row where you have key value, that is 20, wherever you have the intersection of the row and the column, there you get the key value. That key value should be divided for that particular row. Okay, so for entering variable x2, this row is written by dividing the key value, which is 20. So 10 by 20, 20 by 20, 1 by 20, 0 by 20. And for this s2, you need to write all new values. Now, how to write the new value, what is the formula, we will take up that. Okay, ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ. Okay, now you can see here. For the first row, you need to divide whatever the values you have, array values, aij's. Divide those aij's with key value. So 10 by 20 is how much? 1 by
0.5,
2. 1 by 2. Write in this form, 1 by 2. Next, 20 by 20 is 1. 1 by 20. And 0 by 20 is 0. 120 by 20 is 6. Stop here. Now coming to the second row. For S2, we call this as the new value. So what is the formula for new value is old value minus corresponding key column value into corresponding key row value divided by key value. Is that fine? You can have a look here. New value is calculated using this equation, that is new value is equal to old value minus the ratio of corresponding key column value into corresponding key row value divided by key value. Now,
Ma'am, that's
for
completely
example,
one.
yes,
Ma'am, that's completely one term, no? That corresponding key
yes,
column
yes,
value.
yes, this is one term. Fine.
Yes, ma'am. Fine.
Now we will try these all new values for S2. What is, okay, let me take this as N1. First new value, what is the old value? 8 minus. So old value is 8, okay, minus corresponding key column value. So if you see corresponding key column value for this row, corresponding key column value is 8 again. So 8 into corresponding key row value. So corresponding key row value for the first coefficient is 10 divided by key value is 20. Once again, old value is 8. Corresponding key column value. Corresponding key column value for this 8 is 8 into corresponding row value is 10 for this old value divided by key value is 20. Is that okay?
Ma'am,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
that S2 column is not the key column, no, ma'am.
For the key column value or key row value, wherever these two are intersecting, for them we'll have to divide all with the key value. Okay, that we have done it for this thing. Okay, now coming to the next, this you don't have any intersection here of key row or key column. So for this particular row, you need to write new value. Okay, so for those new values, you have one equation. So what is that equation is? Old value minus the ratio of this thing, that is product of key column value, key row value divided by key value, right? So for this row, that is for S2, the old value for N1 I'm talking about, old value is 8 minus corresponding key column value. This is the key, this is the column, this is the key column, right? For this S2, which is the corresponding key column value, 8.
8, yes, ma'am.
Okay, into corresponding key row value. We are writing for this and key row is this. So first value in the key row is 10. So 10 divided by key value is 20.
Got it.
Is
ma'am.
that fine?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so how much you are getting here?
4.
4. So write that 4 here. Similarly, we'll try it for the second also. Old value is again 8 minus corresponding key column value is again 8. So this is the column. Corresponding key column is 8 into corresponding row value is 20 divided by key value is 20. Is this okay?
0. Yes,
It's
ma'am.
equal to
Is that fine? You
Yes, ma'am.
understood how we have taken? Okay. So how much is this?
0.
0.
0. So here 0. Similarly for N3, old value is 0 minus corresponding key column value is again 8. Corresponding row value is 1 divided by key value is 20. How much is this?
Minus 8. ma'am.
Minus
No. Sorry, ma'am. Not-
2 by 5.
Minus 2 by 5. ma'am.
So minus 2 by 5. Last, not last, we have the solution and the last part. So N4, old value is how much?
0.
0.
1.
1.
1, okay, 1 nimisha. Old value is 1. Corresponding key column is 8. Key row is 0. Is it not? Divided by 20. Old value is 1. Corresponding key column value is 8. Corresponding row value is 0 divided by 1. Sorry, 20. So how much is this?
1. ma'am.
1. Good. Here 1. Lastly, for the solution part, old value is 80. Old value is 80. Corresponding key column value is 8. Row value is 120 divided by 20.
32. ma'am.
Yes, 32. Minus 8 into 120 divided by 20 is 32. So here 32. Now again repeat the same procedure, that is find what is Zj. Now for Zj, Z1, 16 into 1 by 2, 16 into 1 by 2 plus 0 into 4. How much is this? 8.
8, ma'am.
8. ma'am.
Right here 8. For second Z value, 16 into 1 plus 0 into 0. 16.
16. Yes, ma'am.
So here 16. Z3, 16 into 1 by 20 plus 0 into minus 2 by 5. How much is this? 4 by 5. So 4
Yes, ma'am.
by
Yes,
5.
ma'am.
16 into 0 plus 0 into 1 is 0. For ZS, 16 into 6 plus 0 into 32. How much is this? 96. Yeah. Last part, Cj minus Zj. 12 minus 8 is 4. 16 minus 16 is 0. 0 minus 4 by 5 is minus 4 by 5. 0 minus 0 is 0. Now, can you come to the conclusion that it is the optimal solution
No, ma'am.
or
We still
optimal
have a
table?
positive term.
Yes, you have again the positive value, which is 4. So from this is the key column and key row will be how much? 6 by 1 by 2, which is 12. 6 by 1 by 2. 32 by 4 is 8. So key row will be x2 or S2?
S2.
S2. Yes. So this is key row. Okay. Now again repeat the same thing.
Ma'am, how many times should we do this, ma'am?
I'll tell you, till you get all these values here, all these negative or 0.
If
Here.
it, is there any possibility
All-
that it doesn't come down like that?
No, it will come. Maybe for the 4th iteration, it will come. Maximum 4th iteration if you have 2 decision variables. If you have
Okay.
3, then it may go up to 5 iterations. So it will take time.
Okay. This is
To
20 marks
solve-
question number.
Yes, one full question you will get.
Oh, okay, then okay.
Okay, now coming to the quickly the third part. If I leave it also, you can just carry on and do the further calculation. Coming to the SJ again, here there is no change. 12, 16, 0, 0. And here, as if you see here, what is the leaving variable? Which is the leaving variable in this part? It is the leaving variable. That is S2 is the leaving variable. X1 is the entering variable. So this is entry, this is exit. So in place of S2, you need to write X1.
X.
So, yes. So here, 16, 12, X2, X1. Coming to the key row. Yes, here coming to the key row and key column, key value. As you have S2 as the key row, you need to divide key value with all these arrays. That is, 4 is the key value. Divide 4 to all these values. This is the first step. Okay. So when you divide, 4 by 4 is 1. 0 minus 1 by 10, 1 by 4, 8. Now these will be new values. For N1, old value is 1 by 2. Okay. Key value is 4. Corresponding key column value is, what will be the corresponding key column value? 1 by 2. Corresponding row is 4. Okay. It is little reverse. You can just try here. 1 by 2 is the old value minus key column value is 1 by 2 into corresponding key row value is 4 divided by 4. 0. So 0. Similarly, N2. What is the value? 1.
Just 1 minus.
It is 1 minus column value will be same. This will be same. This and this will be same for the entire row. Okay. Only this will get changed and this will get changed. So 1 minus 1 by 2 into 0 by 4. Okay. Coming to the third last, I think we will get all negative and 0. So N3. N3. Mask hakondo. ಯಾಕೋ ಹ್ಯಾಂಗ್ ಆಗೋದು ಬಸ್ಸು ನಂದು ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್. ಬಸ್ಸು ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡೋಗ್ತೀನಿ ನೋಡು. Okay, N3. Old value is 1 by
1 by
20
20.
minus Corresponding key column is again 1 by 2. Row value is minus 2 by 5 divided by 4. How much is this? 1 by 10 minus 1 by 10. Correct?
Yes, ma'am. Minus 1 by 10.
Plus ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. Plus 1 by 10. Correct? Check ಮಾಡಿ. Last in 4. Old value is 0 minus 1 by 2. Corresponding column is 1. Column is half. Row is 1. Key value is 4. So minus 1 by 8. Minus 1 by 8. For solution, 6 minus corresponding key column is half. Row is 32 divided by 4 is 2. So here it is 2. Now comes the ZJ part. So 16 into 0 plus 12 into 1. 12. 16 into 1 plus 12 into 0. 16 Z3. 16 into 1 by 10 plus 12 into minus 1 by 10. How much? 2 by 5. Z4. 16 into minus 1 by 8 plus 12
by 10.
into 1 by 1. Correct? So this is 1. Okay. Now coming to the last part of this, CJ minus
Ma'am,
ZJ.
positive 1 by 10.
1 by 10 na. Z4.
S1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ
To Z, 12 into minus 1 by 10 you have written, right? It's 12 into plus
plus
1
1 by 10. S1 is plus 10, plus 1 by 10.
Okay. ಇಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ ಈಗ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಓಕೆ. How about the last part? Correct. Okay.
Correct, ma'am.
Next, 12 minus 12 is 0. 16 minus 16 is 0. 0 minus 2 by 5 is minus 2 by 5. 0 minus 1 is minus 1. And here I think we have left the Z solution. That is 16 into 2 plus 12 into 8. How much is this? 128. So this is 128. Okay. Now if you check, I think we have got zeros and minus values in the ZJ minus CJ minus ZJ. Okay.
Ma'am, Z3, ma'am, Z3 will be
14 by
14 by 5.
14 by 5.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
16
Plus.
into 1 by 10.
Plus 12 into 1 by 10.
12 into 1 by 10. 4 by 5. 6 by 5.
14 by 5 ಬರ್ತದೆ.
14 by 5 ಬರ್ತದೆ. 4 by 5 plus 3 by 6 by 5 ಅಲ್ಲ?
Ma'am, directly 28 by 10, so it's 14 by 5. We add.
Okay, how about this value? 1 by 10. Is that correct? Third
Ma'am,
new
entry is
value.
correct.
Ma'am,
That is correct.
By 10.
N3 is plus 1 by 10, ma'am. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಅದು ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
N3 ಅಲ್ಲ?
S1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ
1 by 20 plus 1.
1 by 20 minus ಅದು plus 1 by 10 ಅಲ್ಲ?
ಅದೇ plus 1 by 10 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ
ಏನ್-
ಬರೋದು ಮತ್ತೇನಾಯ್ತು ತೊಂದ್ರೆ. But both you get 1/10 only, no? One is minus, the other one is plus.
ಹಾ ಹಾ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಅದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ?
Ma'am, X3 is 1/10, ma'am, and Z3 is 14/5.
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್
Is
ನೀವು
the
Z3
calculation-
ಬರೆಯುವಾಗ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಬರೆಯುವಾಗ 12 into -1/10 ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಅವಾಗ.
Okay. So this is 14/5.
Exactly, ma'am.
Okay. So this is 14/5. So here 14/5. Okay, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now coming to the Cj minus Zj, all are zeros and negative values. So now we can stop here and we can conclude what will be the optimal solution. Now to write the optimal solution, you need to write Z, what will be the Z value along with two decision variable. This is how we write the optimal solution, is it not? In the graphical method also, if you see, we should have two decision variable and one objective function. So that objective function is according to your objective function of the problem, it is Z max only. Whatever the value we get, that is the Z max. So this value is that Z max. Okay. And these are the decision variables x1 and x2, and these are the coefficient of decision variables. So how you need to write the result part here is, as since Cj minus Zj, all the values if you see are less than or equal to 0. Okay, you need to stop the iteration, and coming to the optimal solution, we have two decision variables x1 and x2 with one objective function, which is 128. X1 is 12, x2 is 16. Most of the students go wrong here taking x1 and x2. If you see here, they write x1 but they end up writing this coefficient, the first coefficient. Please be careful when you're writing this part. Okay, so it is not necessary that in the every table you get like this only. Maybe x1 may be first or x2 may be second. If you have third variable, maybe you end up taking 213 or 312, like that. Any format is possible here. So but while taking the coefficients, you need to be careful while writing the final answer. Okay, so this is what the final answer is. Fine. Is that okay?
Yes ma'am, yes ma'am.
Okay, so tomorrow also we will take up the same set of simplex method, but the minimization problem. Okay, so we will keep till the simplex one.
Can you
in
scroll
the
down to
coming
the
week,
solution once again?
ಯಾವುದು?
Solution ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಹಾ, ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ತಗೋಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ.
ಹ್ಮ್.
Okay, na? I will send this. You can just go through and practice, please. From here, your part will start. Please, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಗ್ಲಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ನಾವು ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಬರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಸಿಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್. ಒಂದೇ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ 2 ಸರ್ತಿ 3 ಸರ್ತಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಬಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಯರ್, these every solution part, what you can see n1, n2, n3, it is not necessary that you need to show it in the calculation part. If you are okay or comfortable with your calculator, you can directly write the tabulation. Tabulation is important here. We are not here to see your all calculation part. That is whatever the Z calculation or N calculation. If it is not shown in the booklet also, it is fine. Okay, but your tabulation should be correct. And one more thing, if you are referring some of the textbooks, in some of the textbooks, what they do here is they take in the reverse manner, that is Zj minus Cj in some of the books. Even that is also okay if you are doing like that, but the end result should be always correct. What you need to, what you are stating and what you are writing should be correct. Okay, you can refer any procedure in from any of the book, answer will be same. Fine. So don't be like in the situation or in the panic situation that this book is like this and the solution here is different and what madam has taken is different. Everything is easy and everything is the same only if you see the end result. Okay, so you can take anyhow cj minus zj or zj minus cj, anything is okay. Okay, so I am taking the reference of this, that is cj minus zj should be less than or equal to 0 for maximization, should be greater than or equal to 0 for the minimization problem. And I am referring for this particular simplex and big M any method. If you take the Srinivas Reddy book, which is the simplest among all the books. Okay, if you get one, you can buy it. Srinivas Reddy. Okay, fine. I'll end up here. Tomorrow we'll discuss the minimization problem.